If we look at the word service and we break it in two from like how it sounds, serve us. And I really feel like this nuanced aspect is absolutely crucial in terms of understanding how we can truly be of that genuine service, not just attempting to grow a coaching business or grow some kind of mission. Because most of the time, most people that I've met, even people that run charities, are attempting to grow some kind of socially led business from a place of fear, most of the time. So what does serve us mean? Well, it's not serve me and it's not serve you. It's making sure there's a symbiotic relationship of giving and receiving when it comes to service. So I'm going to draw that up here. This is where society's got a lot of this stuff twisted. According to society, and especially the personal development space, you should try to give more than you receive. Essentially, you should try to be out of balance. Now, anytime someone gives more than they receive, they become resentful. It's just a law of nature. Has anyone in here experienced that before? Mm-hmm. Yeah? And I don't know about you guys, but I've definitely attempted to give so much. Most of us in this room are givers on some level. Most people in this room are achievers, and most people in this room are givers. We tend to lean on the side of overgiving, and that's what society champions. We're always celebrating the one that's like giving themselves up, giving their life away to be of service. There's a problem with that it's not authentic, okay? Because you're not serving fully if you're resenting someone in the process. So in order to be able to serve us, we need to make sure that we're giving and receiving equally. And I really feel like there's two aspects to that. There's two aspects to giving and receiving equally. One is making sure that you have a full cup. And the second is to make sure you're being authentic in your service. Okay? So let's just rapid fire what that means. If you're not receiving as much as you're attempting to give, then you don't have a full cup. And if you don't have a full cup, you're instantly going to be sucked out of your heart and you're going to go into your head. Whenever we don't have a full cup, our window of tolerance, our capacity to hold what's in front of us in life gets small. We go outside of it and we get dysregulated. And as soon as we get dysregulated, we go out of our prefrontal cortex and we go into our amygdala. When we're in our amygdala, we're in survival brain and we're feeling scared. And you can't serve from a place of fear. So you have to receive enough that you can keep your cup full so that you can have that fullness, stay in your heart, keep your prefrontal cortex open, and be living more from that place. And that's the place that you're living from your heart and you're actually connected to love and you're actually serving. Okay? And so this is just like crazy because in society, it's not celebrated to give and receive equally. Tit for tat, you know? It's just tit for tat. It's like no one is able to sustain this being out of balance, either receiving more or giving more. It'll move back into balance eventually. But it's so important in order to be able to serve others from a place of authenticity and from a full cup. So let's talk about authenticity. It's very hard to authentically serve others if we're not living authentic in our own lives. The way that we authentically serve others is by knowing ourselves. It's having self-awareness. Most people don't have self-awareness. And the reason why most people don't have self-awareness and struggle to be authentic, the reason why people do that is because most of us look up to the people that have the biggest status in society and try to be more like them. That is ingrained into us from tribal days. You're meant to look at the tribal chief and the leadership in the tribe and go, I want to be more like these people. But But for us to be more like Kim Kardashian is not necessarily going to have us connected more to our hearts. So we're in this dilemma where the things that society celebrate at a collective level is usually based in vanity, moving more towards like hypersexualized and hyper material. So more about looks and money, right? That's how society is geared. And what happens is if we look up to that and feel that we don't have certain looks, or we don't have certain resources financially, or we don't have certain material possessions, then what we're doing is we're actually lessening ourselves, and we're injecting the values of the people that we look up to and going, until I have what they have, I'm less than them. And if we're trying to be more like other people, which most of society is, it's ingrained into us to try to be more like the tribal leader. But that moment that we pedestal and look up to people, we take on their values and we don't know who the hell we are. We don't learn who we are authentically and feel a sense of power and contentment in our own authenticity, because we're so distracted with what everyone else is doing through social media, which really is the whole landscape, and where we get taught who we should and shouldn't be. And the problem in personal development is, if we're feeling dysregulated a lot in personal development, we're feeling insecure, and we're looking at all these other thought leaders, then we're looking for certainty outside of ourselves. We're trying to be more like Eckhart Tolle, and then we're trying to be more like David Goggins, and then we're trying to be more like Joe Dispenza, and then we're trying to be more like Grant Cardone or Gary Vaynerchuk or Tony Robbins. And we lose ourselves. We lose our own authenticity because we pedestal and take as what people say as gospel, and then think, well, until I'm living by what that person says, if Tony says, in order to live your best life, you need to raise your standards, and there's an insecurity in you when you're listening to that, you go, my standards are low. And until I've got standards like Tony's, which is being a $500 million entrepreneur, which most people like listen to Tony Robbins aren't anywhere near that, they instantly go, well, I'm down here and he's up there. And then we try to be more like that, and we start moving more towards that. And if we're trying to be more like somebody else, we're finding out less and less who we are. And so it's very, very difficult to actually serve authentically if we don't even know who we are, because we're spending all our time trying to be more like other people. This is why it can be very, very dangerous, social media and listening to thought leaders, when we pedestal them and think that they're better than us, because then we want to be more like them. The moment that we think that someone's better than us, we change who we are to try to be more like them. And if you're looking at social media and people are always showing their highlight reels, and you're seeing all these people on social media and you're trying to be more like them instantly than actually being more of your authentic self. And you cannot serve from that place, because you're just paying forward inauthenticity. You're just regurgitating fear and not enoughness in the transmission of energy that you're holding. So before we even think about being of service, we need to know who we are. In order to know who we are, we need to know that we're equal, and that our uniqueness, our set of strengths and weaknesses, is equally valuable to anyone else's, and accept that as a fact so we can start looking for what that even means for us. And it's only then that we can fully serve others.